Just a quick warning for you, this is a very technical video. I'm talking about a topic that's really ingrained in SEO, so if you're not into technical marketing topics, this episode may not be for you. Hi everyone. Imagine you're hosting a dinner party and you're watching how your guests move from the living room to the kitchen and back to the dining table. Each movement tells you something about their preferences, who's interested in your gourmet dishes, who loves wine, and who's just here to chat. That's exactly how Google analyzes user behavior on your website through something that Dejan Petrovic found called page transitions. And these are breadcrumbs of your visitor's online journey, and understanding them can make or break your law firm's SEO strategy. Hi, I'm Casey Mraz, and welcome to a special edition of the Lawyer Mastermind podcast, where we empower attorneys to learn what they need to know to grow their firms and sign more high-value cases. Today, I'm here to explain a concept for you that's technical in nature, but it has to do with how Google search engines are ranking pages. Now, if you're familiar with Google and you've been around for a while, you know that links are the backbone that Google search engine was initially built on. So other websites linking to your law firm's website can really boost your authority. And they used to call that PageRank, essentially. And every SEO tool kind of on the market has a metric for that. DR, if you're using Ahrefs. But no matter the concept, there's a score and an authority given to you. But over the years, as Google expanded their dominance, expanded the products that they were offering and the services that they were offering, they rolled out a browser that I'm sure you're pretty familiar with. See, back in the day, we used to use web browsers like Internet Explorer or perhaps Safari, and you may still use that, but undoubtedly you've heard of Google Chrome. And let's talk about how Google Chrome, a product owned by Google, is likely used in search ranking factors, and specifically what are page transitions. So page transitions are Google Chrome's browser's way of tracking how one user moves from one page of your website to another. So you can think of them as the digital equivalent of watching your guests move from room to room at a dinner party. But instead of just where they go, it tells you how they got there, how they got to your website. Did they, for example, click a link on another website that they found elsewhere? Or did they type in the address in the address bar? Or perhaps they followed a bookmark that somebody sent them. Ultimately, this is what this page transition metric seems to be tracking in Chromium. So for attorneys, understanding page transitions can reveal which part of your website are actually attracting potential clients and which are leaving them lost or frustrated. And see, Google wants to know about this. They want that information because ultimately they want to serve users with answers that are going to resonate. And if they're doing that effectively with ads, for example, then theoretically people are going to increase their ad spend because they're getting those results that they need. The reason that they're paying for ads in the first place, which is probably to get these high quality case leads, right? So let's look at an example here. If somebody was on your website and they kept refreshing your contact page, that is actually a signal that Google's recording. They're tracking that behavior, probably buried somewhere in their terms and conditions, right? It might mean, though, if they're doing that, that they're actually having trouble using your website. It could be the form. But knowing this really allows Google to understand, hey, is this a page that we should serve to people and should we value this? So let's break down the different types of page transitions and talk about the overall technical concept of this and the things that you may just want to keep in the back of your head in terms of marketing and using this to your advantage for your firm. The first way that most people get to a page on a website is a transition link. This is the classic way that people navigate, where they're clicking on a link, and on your website, this could mean someone clicked to your practice area page or about us page or your services. And in this shows internal links are working. Those links are displaying and it's telling Google and Chrome that, hey, look, this link is working and it's taking me to this page. So that's a page transition link. And then you have page transition typed. So that would be that you already know the website you want to go to. Maybe that's a news website, CNN or .com. That's when you just type that address directly into your browser. What I want you to spend a minute thinking about here is think about the power of that. It's a huge win. It means they remember your firm by name. That is about brand loyalty. And as people have always been manipulating Google and other search engines, they're always trying to find the tricks to how I can manipulate it to raise my firm's rankings. to beat that competition or that competitor over there. The one metric I think is kind of hard to fake is these brand searches. Obviously, you can emulate searches, people typing in to Google, but true interaction value comes from that at scale. And so if you build a brand that's worthy and people recognize and they know what you do, that is a huge vote of confidence. Throwing Google completely aside, from a real marketing perspective, if we're talking about real marketing, that's important. People want to do business with they know, like, or trust. And if you think about the context of your brand, you're probably not as well known as you think you are. And if people don't know about you, they don't know to hire you. And I also bring that up in the context that if you're doing any marketing and you're not staying consistent with a very clear message or a clear brand identity or understanding who your ICP is, then you're going to fall lost in all of the noise and the 700 plus marketing messages that everybody sees every single day. Let's talk about the next type of page transition, and that's a bookmark. And if a client bookmarks your contact page or your blog, it's like them saving your digital business card for later. They value your content just enough to come back. They want to come back and take a look at that. Similar to a bookmark that you might find on X or TikTok. People are booking content they want to revisit. And that's another way that people can go to your websites. I remember many years ago, before I got into SEO, but I was into website development, and a developer friend I was working with, and this was probably 20-something years ago, told me, well, whenever I build a website, I always bookmark it because that's one of the ways that you show up higher in Google. And it just reminded me of saying that out loud. And at the time, there was no Google Chrome. So it's not like that was really a measurable way of gauging rankings, but it's interesting nonetheless. The next type of transition is for page transition reload. So this could be refreshing a page, and this could be a red flag, like a potential client knocking on your firm's door but not being able to get inside. And typically when you see something like that, it means maybe part of the page isn't loading, or you feel like it's not loading fast enough, so you're restarting it, which is typically counterintuitive, unless you're having internet issues. But it basically means that your page is slow or something isn't loading properly, and that's going to create red flag in Google's eyes. So something to pay attention to there. And then number 5, page transition form submit. This is a goldmine. When somebody submits a form, they're handing you their information about their life. Whether that's an email or a phone or text, whatever information it is, it shows that whatever the goal of your website was, which was probably to collect contact information, that it's working. So that is a page signal, very important. So we have page transition link, page transition typed, page transition bookmark, page transition reload, and page transition form submit. And talking about the form submit, I just want to say that I think this is where a lot of digital marketing agencies get it wrong. SEO or search engine optimization is not necessarily rocket science. It does follow this list of what we need to do, and we need to execute these tasks, and we need to do it in a very beautiful way, a very exceptional way to get the best results. But even though a lot of SEOs can do that, what do they miss? Typically, they're missing the brand, the conversion, maybe the story brand for that page, so that there's no clear flow that's actually guiding the user to take that action. And I don't just mean adding a contact us button or click here for a free quote or free consultation. I mean taking your clients through a journey to take that action. And it's so easy to muddle that water, not only for SEOs, but for designers and people that don't have a strong grasp on conversions. And then at the end of the day, devalues the page in the sense that maybe that's not going to relate to conversions, but also to value the quality of your page. So you can see where it kind of comes full circle there. So Chrome doesn't just stop at telling us the type of transition. It also adds qualifiers that give even more detail. For example, if somebody clicked a link but was blocked by a browser setting, it might indicate compliance issues. And of course, those can be critical in regulated fields like family law or personal injury. Of course, if you're a law firm in the EU, that's a whole nother can of worms with other regulatory principles you have to follow. Here's where it gets exciting to me. By analyzing these transitions, you can fine-tune your website to make it more effective. Now, we have Google Analytics data, that's fine. We can also have other data and other tools that are heat maps and show what people do once they're on your law firm's website. But here are some ways you can use it. If people type in your URL often, kind of direct traffic, it means your brand is strong. Keep investing in it. And that's a hard one for marketers too, because is that an easy thing to measure? Not necessarily. And as far from an attribution standpoint, that's where it gets very difficult. Like, hey, is my brand resulting in dollars? We can look at metrics like brand growth, and that's something that we're starting to do, especially tools and data is more obfuscated, but we need to pay attention to that. Number two, if they're bookmarking your blog, double down on that type of content. That can kind of guide that strategy of, hey, how can I double down on this? And, there are things like social bookmark tools where you can get that third-party data from people. We used to use different plugins for this, and then there's some site speed issues, but also that's reflective on social shares as well. More people that are sharing or promoting your content, that's the same as a bookmark. And then, of course, if you are using screen capture software for any of these things, you should also see if they're refreshing your page or if they're running into certain usability issues. See, it's not just about clicks or traffic. It's about understanding why clients come to your site and ultimately how they engage with it. So just as a recap, page transition, these are the digital version of watching how someone moves through your site. And in case I was using other jargon throughout the video here, SERP is search engine results page where your site shows up on Google, and qualifiers are extra details that describe the type of user action, like clicking a link or typing in a URL, for example. So here's what you can do as far as takeaways from this pretty technical video today. Number one, always pay attention to your website's analytics. That paints the picture. It tells the story of not only what pages are people landing on and using, but what they're doing on your website. You need to understand this so that you can identify the opportunities, fix the issues that are happening, but also make sure that whatever marketing efforts you're engaged in are living up to those ROI guidelines you set, and make sure that you have clear visibility into tracking those. Number two, definitely use analytics as well to figure out pages where users might be getting stuck, like high reload rates or link clicks, things like that. And ultimately, it is kind of basic in the sense that you want to invest in making your site easier to use. Better forms, faster load times, and clear navigation. If you confuse, you lose. That's a big story brand principle that we take to heart every day, and it's something we're trying to get better at every day. As I'm trying to make a very technical video in a less confusing way, so I definitely welcome your thoughts on this in the end. But at the end of the day, I just want to empower you with this information so that you know that SEO isn't just about getting clicks. It's really about understanding how your clients find you and making their journey smooth so they can find you easily and they know exactly what you do. So with any insights that you can get towards data like this, you can make smarter marketing decisions based on actual metrics, actual SMART goals. So SEO and digital marketing for lawyers, it seems very complex, but having the ability to understand what's out there and understand what ranking factors not only help you rank higher in search engines, but also those factors that overlap with real-world user experience can just empower you to be better marketers. Hope you found this entertaining and useful. And please, as always, feel free to leave any comments. I'd love your feedback. Thank you.